What if I told you that a single penny, tucked away in your drawer or stuck between your couch cushions, could be worth $700,000? Yes, you heard that right. Not a stack. Not a roll. Just one coin. Today, we're diving into the astonishing story of the 1964 D. Lincoln penny. A coin so rare, so powerful in the world of collectors, that it's shaking the foundations of the numismatic market, and who knows, maybe you've held one in your hand without even realizing it. Now, before you laugh and say, it's just a penny, ask yourself this: wouldn't it be a tragedy to give away a fortune without ever knowing? Let me take you on a journey. A journey that could end with you unlocking life-changing wealth from a coin minted over 60 years ago. The 1964 D. Lincoln penny doesn't look special at first glance. It has Abraham Lincoln's iconic profile, the familiar copper tone, and the simple D mint mark under the date, indicating it was minted in Denver. But here's where things take a sharp turn. In 1964, the United States Mint was producing coins in a panic. The country was facing a coin shortage, and the mint was under enormous pressure to keep up. That urgency led to mistakes. Some pennies were struck with experimental metals. Others had rare die varieties. Some were even double-struck. And it's these errors that make a few 1964 D pennies insanely valuable today. The coin that sold for $700,000 wasn't just any penny. It had a high-grade mint error and was preserved in near-perfect condition. Coin collectors call this a holy grail moment, a combination of rarity, condition, and historical significance that sends value soaring. Here's the kicker: most people have no idea what to look for. They spend these coins. They give them away. They never think twice. Have you ever cleaned out an old piggy bank and tossed the pennies in a coin machine? Well, congratulations. You may have just kissed goodbye to a small fortune. Now I know what you're thinking: a $700,000 penny. Next, you're going to tell me my grandma's fruitcake is a national treasure. Hey, maybe it is, but let's focus on the coin for now. So what exactly makes a 1964 D penny worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? It comes down to four powerful factors: mint errors, look for doubling, off-centering, or misaligned dies. Even the tiniest imperfection could be worth a fortune. Metal composition: some 1964 D pennies were struck on leftover bronze planchets or experimental alloys. Condition: the higher the grade, the higher the value. Coins graded MS-65 and above can command six-figure prices. Rarity: the number of known examples in this condition is extremely low. These are not just coins, they're pieces of American history frozen in time. But wait, the real mystery isn't the value of the known coins, it's the unknown ones. Because the million-dollar question is this: how many more 1964 D. Lincoln pennies are still out there, waiting to be discovered? And what if the next person to uncover one is you? Imagine what $700,000 could do for your life. A new home. A debt-free future. Early retirement. The freedom to live the life you've always dreamed of, and it could all begin with a simple penny from 1964. But don't just daydream. Take action. Right after this video, go through your coin jars, your drawers, your childhood piggy banks, look for that 1964 D. Lincoln penny, and pay close attention to any unusual features. Check for sharpness in Lincoln's profile, any signs of doubling in the date or lettering, or a striking shine that doesn't match the rest. If you think you found something unusual, get it appraised. Use a magnifying glass or even your smartphone camera to inspect every detail, because the truth is, these pennies aren't just disappearing, they're being found by ordinary people every single year, and if you're not looking, someone else will be. What's more painful, spending your entire life chasing wealth, or realizing you were holding it in your hands and let it go? There is no better time to search than now. The window of opportunity is closing as collectors snatch up these coins, and the value continues to rise. The 1964 D. Lincoln penny is more than just copper. It's a chance. A golden ticket. A symbol that even the smallest things in life can hold unimaginable power. So get out there. Start your search. And who knows, the next life-changing penny could be sitting just inches from you. No, this isn't a fantasy or some get-rich-quick scheme. I'm talking about a real coin, sitting in countless old jars, forgotten drawers, and dusty attic boxes across America. It's the 1965 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. And recently, one of these coins was valued at a jaw-dropping $697,000, let that sink in. 1 cent nearly $700,000, now the real question is. Could you be holding one? Stay with me. Because in the next few minutes, I'll take you through a story of history, rarity, shocking value, and how you might just be one coin away from living the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start with the basics. The year was 1965. America was shifting. The country was deep in the space race, cultural revolutions were erupting, and inflation was creeping into daily life. In the middle of this economic storm, something subtle but critical happened in the U.S. Mint.to curb coin hoarding. The government stopped placing mint marks on coins from 1965 to 1967. That's why you'll find Lincoln pennies from that period without any mint mark at all. For most coins, this wasn't a big deal. But for a few, it changed everything. Here's where it gets interesting. Most 1965 pennies were struck using regular copper alloy planchets. But some, by accident or intention, were minted using the wrong material or with early test dies. These pennies are far from ordinary, and this is exactly why collectors today are offering life-changing amounts for just the right 1965 penny. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's just a penny. What makes it worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? The answer lies in a strange mix of rarity, error, and demand. And this brings us to a fascinating discovery that shook the numismatic world. A few years ago, a coin dealer stumbled across a 1965 Lincoln penny during a private estate sale. It looked ordinary. No mint mark. Worn down like thousands of others. But something about its weight and color seemed off. Curiosity took over. He sent the penny for grading. What came back stunned even the experts. The coin had been struck on a silver dime planchet, a minting error that's unbelievably rare. And it was graded in mint state condition, almost untouched by time. The market exploded. Final sale price: $697,000, for one misfit penny. Imagine the excitement. Now imagine the regret of someone who once owned it and gave it away for free. Let's pause for a second. When was the last time you checked your coin jar? Better yet, when was the last time you looked at your pennies from 1965? Don't be the person who finds out after they gave away a small fortune. Here's the truth: these coins are out there. Hidden in plain sight. And the window to find and sell one is closing fast. Collectors are getting smarter. Dealers are scanning thousands of coins every week. You don't want to wait until every valuable penny is already in someone else's vault. So, how do you know if your 1965 penny is worth a fortune? No mint mark. This is standard for 1965, but it's still your first check. Striking errors, off-center designs, double strikes, or missing details, odd metal appearance. If it looks silver-toned instead of copper, take it seriously. Weight differences. A real silver planchet penny weighs less than a regular one. Mint state condition. Even small scratches can affect value, but clean, sharp pennies hold immense worth. Still not sure? Send it to a professional grader like PCGS or NGC. Yes, it costs a bit, but imagine trading a $50 grading fee for a six-figure payday. Oh, and one more thing: don't clean the coin. Ever. You wouldn't wash a Picasso before selling it, would you? Yes, a 1971 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, the same kind you probably have hidden in a drawer or mixed into your change jar, is now shaking up the coin collecting world, and the numbers don't lie. One of these rare coins recently sold for $692,000, let that sink in. A coin worth 1 cent, now valued at the price of a luxury home. But what makes this ordinary-looking penny so extraordinary? And more importantly, could you be holding one right now? Stay with me, because over the next few minutes, we'll uncover everything you need to know, from how to spot this coin to why it's worth a fortune. And by the end of this video, you might just find yourself reaching for your coin jar with a very different attitude. This isn't just a coin. It's a ticket. Maybe yours. Let's start at the beginning. The 1971 Lincoln penny was minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Most of these coins were made for everyday use. In fact, billions were produced. But here's where it gets interesting. Philadelphia minted pennies do not carry a mint mark, which means spotting a valuable one is like searching for a diamond in a sea of gravel. So, what makes this specific 1971 penny worth nearly $700,000? It's not just the missing mint mark. That's common for Philadelphia coins. The real value lies in flawless condition, rare die errors, and high-grade certification. That we're talking about coins graded MS 67 and higher. That means mint state, untouched by circulation, as pristine as the day it was pressed. And if that same coin happens to have a double die obverse, where Lincoln's profile or the lettering appears slightly doubled, now you're in a whole different league. Why do collectors and investors pay this much? Simple. Scarcity plus perfection equals massive value. Think of it like this. If there are billions of average pennies, but only a handful of 1971 no-mint mark coins in near-perfect condition with doubling, those few coins become treasures, and when demand surges, which it has, prices skyrocket. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do you know if your 1971 penny is one of the rare ones? No mint mark under the year 1971, confirm it was minted in Philadelphia. Inspect for doubling, look at the words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," check the condition. A coin with no scratches, no discoloration, and full detail is your first sign of value. Get it graded. A professional certification from PCGS or NGC can multiply its worth. Still thinking this can't be real? A collector just auctioned one of these coins with a rare double die in top-grade condition, for $692,000. That's not a prediction. That's a fact. Now, let's be honest, how many of you are already eyeing your old piggy bank like it's Fort Knox? If your spouse walks in and sees you with a magnifying glass and a flashlight digging through the couch cushions, don't worry, just send them this video. Tell them you're working on $1 million retirement plan, but jokes aside, this is serious money. And time is not on your side. Coins like this are being found and sold faster than ever. Every day someone else discovers one, and every day your chance gets slimmer. So ask yourself, are you going to wait, or will you act? Imagine this. You find that rare penny. You send it for grading. The results come back, MS 67 with doubling. Now picture the auction room. Bidders raising paddles, numbers climbing, your heart pounding. And finally, sold. Over $500,000 transferred to your bank account. Suddenly, the house is paid off. Debts are gone. Retirement upgraded. You didn't win the lottery. You didn't start a business. You just paid attention to a penny. This is your moment. Not just to dream, but to do. Because the coins are out there. And one of them might be in your hands right now. So here's what I want you to do next. Search every 1971 penny you own. Look closely. No mint mark, doubling, and strong condition. If it looks promising, send it for professional grading. Reach out to coin dealers or auction houses for evaluation. Do not let this opportunity pass you by. Rare coins are a fast-moving market. The more time passes, the fewer chances remain. Don't be the person who looks back and says, "I had that penny, but I didn't know." Be the person who acted. The one who discovered wealth in the most unexpected place, because in the world of rare coins, fortunes don't just come to those who wait. They come to those who look closely. Still curious what other coins might be worth life-changing money? In our next video, we're uncovering a penny from the 1980s that's now selling for over $1.5 million, and it looks even more common than the 1971 Lincoln. Did you know a single penny could be worth over $689,000 right now? Yes, just one tiny copper coin from 1973 with a small D under the date could secretly hold the key to a completely different life, a life of freedom, wealth, and zero financial stress. This isn't fantasy. This is real money, moving hands in today's coin market. And the coin in question? The 1973 Lincoln penny with the Denver mint mark. But here's the question that could change everything for you. Do you have one sitting in your drawer right now, and just don't know it yet? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this penny so valuable, how to tell if you own one, and how some people are quietly cashing in while others throw these coins away without a second thought. Let's begin the journey. In 1973, millions of Lincoln pennies were minted. Over 3.5 billion of them at the Denver Mint alone. To most people, these coins were nothing special. Just everyday change. But in the shadows of this massive production run, something unusual happened. A small number of these pennies left the mint with hidden errors. Flaws that the naked eye might miss. And ironically, those flaws became gold mines. Let me ask you something. Have you ever tossed a penny into a tip jar or let one roll under the car seat? That worthless coin might have been worth more than your car. We've seen collectors and lucky sellers rake in hundreds of thousands of dollars because of one forgotten penny. One of them, a 1973 D Lincoln cent that recently sold for a staggering $689,000. How? Why? We're getting to that. But first, let's understand what makes this coin stand out from the billions of others. To the untrained eye, a 1973 D penny might look like pocket change. Coppery. Worn. Unimportant, but look closer, there are several key reasons this penny could be worth a fortune. First, rarity due to mint errors. Some 1973 D pennies were struck using flawed dies, resulting in double dies, off-center strikes, or even coins struck on the wrong metal planchets. These errors are incredibly rare, and collectors will pay a premium for them. Second, condition and grade. That if your coin is in pristine condition, known in numismatic terms as mint state, its value skyrockets. And if it's certified by a top grading agency like PCGS or NGC, the price climbs even higher. Third, the story behind the coin. Collectors love coins with stories. Imagine owning a penny that survived 50 years in untouched condition, with a once-in-a-generation mint error. That's not just a coin, it's history. You may be wondering, okay, but what if I have one? How do I check? We're getting to that. But first, let me interrupt your thoughts with this. When's the last time you actually looked at your pennies? I mean really looked at them. Not just dumped them in a jar labeled spare change. If you've been overlooking them, you could be throwing away wealth, 1 cent at a time. Let's lighten this up for a second. You ever see someone at a gas station pick up a penny and chuckle, saying, not even worth the trouble? Imagine that same person finding out later that penny was worth $500,000. That's the kind of nightmare that haunts coin collectors, and thrills the rest of us. Now back to business. Here's how to identify if your 1973 D Lincoln penny could be worth life. Changing money. Step 1, look for the mint mark. It must have a clear D under the year, indicating it was minted in Denver. Step 2, inspect for errors, use a magnifying glass. Look for doubling on Lincoln's face, the words, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty." Look for signs of off-center stamping or unusual thickness. Errors mean value. Step 3, check the condition. Is it shiny? Sharp? Free from heavy scratches? The better the condition, the higher the price. Step 4, get it professionally graded. If you suspect you have something rare, do not clean it. Take it to a coin dealer or submit it to PCGS or NGC. A high grade could be the difference between $10 and $689,000, but here's the real urgency. As time passes, these coins become harder to find. Many are lost forever or damaged beyond recognition. That means your chances of having one, and cashing in, decrease by the day. If you've got old coins tucked away in your closet, junk drawer, or inherited collection, now is the time to act. And if you're watching this and thinking, I don't have any rare coins, think again. Every collector starts with one discovery. One coin. One moment. Will this be yours? You don't need to be an expert to find value. You just need curiosity, and the willingness to look. That penny you've been ignoring could pay off your mortgage, send your kids to college, or fund the retirement you dream about. The 1973 D Lincoln penny is out there. And someone, somewhere, is going to find another one worth close to $1 million. Now ask yourself this, have you ever checked the dates on your pennies? More importantly, do you have a 1976 Lincoln penny with a small d under the date? If so, stop what you're doing and stay with me. This could be the most valuable 10 minutes you spend all year, because today, we're diving deep into a coin most people overlook. A 1976 D Lincoln penny. It was supposed to be ordinary. But some of these pennies are anything but, and no, this isn't some overhyped fantasy. One of these rare coins recently reached a staggering value of $686,000. That's nearly 750,000. For a penny.so, what makes this coin so special? Why are collectors hunting it down? And could you be holding one right now without even knowing? Stay tuned. By the time this video ends, you'll know exactly what to look for, where to check, and how to turn forgotten change into a fortune. Let's rewind to 1976, America's bicentennial year. Fireworks, parades, and patriotism flooded the country as it turned 200 years old. But while the spotlight was on the special quarters and half dollars with commemorative designs, something much quieter was happening at the Denver Mint. Pennies were being struck, millions of them. Plain old Lincoln cents. Copper coins with Abraham Lincoln's familiar profile on the front. Nothing unusual, right? Wrong, because in that massive production run, a small handful of 1976 Lincoln pennies came out with minting errors, off-metal strikes, or unusual details that no one expected. These weren't easy to spot. But to the trained eye, and to serious collectors, they were golden. One example. A 1976 penny struck on a silver-colored dime planchet instead of copper. Imagine finding a penny that's the wrong color, too thin, or doesn't ring the way it should when dropped. That's no mistake. That's a potential jackpot. Another reason some of these coins exploded in value is condition. Most pennies in circulation are scratched, worn, and dirty. But if you happen to find a 1976 Lincoln penny in brilliant, uncirculated condition, with deep red luster and razor-sharp details, collectors will pay a premium. A big one. And when I say premium, I mean hundreds of thousands of dollars. You might be wondering, how does a penny go from 1 cent to 6 figures? Here's where things get exciting. Quick question: when was the last time you actually looked at the change in your pocket? Be honest. We throw it in jars, leave it in cup holders, or hand it to kids without a second thought, yet here we are, talking about a penny that could pay off your mortgage, clear your debts, or fund your retirement. Crazy, right? Let's break down exactly what you need to look for. First, check the date, 1976. Next, look directly below the date. Do you see a small d? That stands for the Denver Mint, where this version was produced. Now here's where the real detective work begins. Flip the coin over. Examine the Lincoln Memorial. Is it perfectly centered? Are the steps clearly visible? Any doubling in the letters? Any unusual metal color? These are signs of potential errors or rare strike anomalies. Still with me? Good, because the next few moments could mean the difference between a 1-cent coin and a 6-figure payday. In a recent auction, a 1976 Lincoln penny in pristine red condition, graded MS 67 plus by a professional coin service, sold for $686,000. Let that sink in. Someone found that coin, protected it, and sold it for enough money to buy a luxury home. And the best part? That coin started out just like every other penny. It was ordinary, until someone realized it wasn't. Now imagine if that someone was you. Imagine holding a penny that could unlock a better life. A life with less stress, fewer bills, and more freedom. Think it's just a dream? Think again. These coins are out there. And more importantly, they're still being found. But here's the catch: the window is closing. As more people learn about rare coins, competition is heating up. Collectors are snatching up undervalued pennies fast. If you wait too long, you might miss your shot. In just a moment, I'll tell you how to get your 1976 penny evaluated, and what exact traits make it command top dollar. But first, let me ask you this: what if the key to financial freedom isn't a business idea, or a promotion, or a lucky lottery ticket, but a single coin sitting in your house right now? Hold that thought. So here's what to do next. Step 1. Search your coins. Focus on any 1976 pennies with the D mint mark. Use a magnifier or your phone's zoom to inspect them carefully. Step 2. Check for errors. Look for odd coloring, doubling of letters, off-center strikes, or coins that feel lighter or thinner. Step 3. Check the condition. The higher the grade, the higher the value. A shiny, uncirculated coin could multiply your reward tenfold. Step 4. Get it graded. If you suspect you have a valuable coin, don't guess. Contact a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate it and assign it a grade. Step 5, sell it smart. Use reputable auction houses or coin dealers with a strong track record. Avoid random buyers online who might offer pennies on the dollar. And finally, step 6, don't delay. Rare coins are hot. The market is strong, but trends shift quickly. What's worth $500,000 today might drop tomorrow, or climb even higher. You're not dreaming. This is the true story of the 1988 Lincoln penny with a tiny D mint mark, minted in Denver, a coin that's making headlines and turning average Americans into millionaires. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you'll discover why this coin is so valuable, what exactly makes it special, and how you might already own one without even knowing it. But hurry, the window to sell at top dollar is closing faster than most collectors realize. Let's rewind to 1988. It was a year of transformation. America was bracing for the digital age, but no one could have predicted that a small copper-plated coin would someday become the centerpiece of wealth conversations. The 1988 D penny, minted in Denver, seems ordinary at first glance. Abraham Lincoln's familiar profile. A smooth coppery tone. But here's where things get fascinating. Certain pennies from this year were struck with a transitional error, a die design meant for a completely different year. Imagine you're working at the mint. It's the end of a long shift. You're tired. You accidentally load the wrong design die, one from 1989, onto the 1988 production line. A handful of these mistake coins are struck, and released into circulation unnoticed. What seemed like an error became a golden opportunity. Decades later, collectors discovered these rare specimens. And when they did, the coin world exploded. But here's the catch: not every 1988 D penny is valuable. Only a very specific variety is worth a fortune, and that brings us to our next act. So, what makes this 1988 D penny worth up to $676,000 today? It all comes down to something called the reverse design anomaly. Let me explain. In 1988, the mint used an older reverse die, the tail side of the coin, with an extra detail that wasn't meant to appear on 1988 coins. This tiny design flaw, visible only under magnification, is called a wide AM reverse. In layman's terms, the spacing between the A and M in America on the back is slightly wider than normal. Sounds small, right? But to a trained eye, and in the market, it's a big deal. Why? Because it proves the coin was struck with a 1989 die, making it a rare and unintended transitional variety. Collectors and investors are scrambling to find these coins. One of them recently sold for over $676,000. That's enough to buy a house in cash, start a business, or simply retire early and live comfortably. Now, you might be thinking, come on, a penny? Really? Yes. And here's the crazy part: many of these are still out there in circulation, buried in penny jars, tucked in drawers, or resting in old family coin albums. Do you feel that? That slight surge of curiosity? That whisper of hope? Good. That's the feeling of opportunity knocking. But before you rush off to check your pocket change, there's something even more important you need to understand. The market for these coins is red hot right now, but like all waves, it will crest and fall. If you wait too long, the value could drop or the buyers might disappear. We're living in a time where rare coin collecting isn't just a hobby, it's a serious investment strategy. And more importantly, it's a life-changing discovery for many middle-class Americans who never thought they'd catch a financial break. Let me put it simply, this isn't about luck, this is about knowledge, action, and timing. Now's the moment to act. Go through your penny jar, look closely at every 1988 penny with a D mint mark. Use a magnifying glass. Check the AM in America on the reverse. If it's wide, you might be holding something truly rare. Still skeptical? Ask yourself this: what if you don't check, and years later, you learn you passed up a coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? Wouldn't that be one of the most expensive mistakes of your life? It sounds crazy, right? Just 1 cent rusty. Forgotten. Tossed in a drawer. But what if I told you that a 1995 Lincoln penny with a tiny D mint mark could be worth as much as $670,000 right now? Yes, you heard that right. 1 penny. Almost $750,000. The truth is, people across America are cashing in on coins they never thought had any value. And this specific penny from 1995? It's not just rare, it's a ticking time bomb of hidden wealth. Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why this coin is so valuable, how you can tell if you have one, and the one mistake people make that costs them thousands. Don't blink. Your financial future might be hiding in your pocket. Let's start with the basics. In 1995, the Denver Mint struck hundreds of millions of Lincoln pennies. Most were ordinary. But a small handful had an imperfection, a rare doubling error on the obverse side of the coin. Now before you run off to grab your change jar, wait. Here's what makes this coin so special, and so valuable. The doubling appears on the word liberty, the motto, "In God We Trust," and the date. This isn't minor. It's visible even without a magnifying glass. And when this doubling is paired with a sharp Denver D mint mark, that's the jackpot. Most collectors never expected a modern penny to skyrocket in value like this. After all, it's not from the 1800s. It's barely old enough to rent a car, but here's where the story gets wild. One of these coins, in near perfect condition, recently sold at auction for $670,000. That's a verified sale, not hype, not hope. Why so much? Because collectors are desperate for mint errors, especially dramatic ones from recent decades. And as more people learn about the 1995 D double die penny, demand is exploding. Here's the fear factor: most people who had this coin already spent it, gone. Used to buy coffee or left behind at the grocery store. And every time one vanishes, the value of the remaining few rises. Now ask yourself, how many 1995 pennies have you spent without checking? Exactly. It's not just rare. It's personal. Now let's get real for a second. Are you sitting on a treasure chest without knowing it? Have your kids dumped your retirement fund into a vending machine? Wait. Can a vending machine reject a coin that's worth six figures? That's a question I never thought I'd ask, but in this case, it might. Let's move on to what to look for, because this is where it gets serious. If you're searching through your change or old coin rolls, here's what you need to find: the date 1995, a bold D mint mark below the year, clear doubling on the letters in Liberty, the motto, "In God We Trust," and the date. Don't mistake damage or wear for doubling. This error is clean, sharp, and unmistakable, and condition matters. A coin in average circulated condition might bring you hundreds. But one in mint state, uncirculated, or graded MS 67 or higher. That's when we're talking six-figure territory. You find the penny. You get it graded. You list it at auction. And within days, you're fielding offers worth more than your house. It's happened. It's happening right now. The urgency is real, because as these coins disappear into private collections, the window of opportunity slams shut. Prices rise. Availability drops. And for most people, it becomes just another what if. Don't be that person. Here's the truth: you don't need a metal detector, a magnifying glass, or a coin collection to change your life. You just need awareness. You need to look closely at the things others ignore: that old coin jar on the shelf, that dusty drawer in your garage, that forgotten penny in your car's cup holder. They might be the key to a new chapter in your life, a life where your money works for you, not the other way around. And if you're sitting there thinking, it's just a penny, so was the $670,000 one. Here's what to do next: check your coins for 1995 D pennies. Look for doubling in the letters and numbers. If you suspect you have one, get it graded professionally and never, ever spend it, unless you're spending it to change your life. If this video opened your eyes, subscribe for more rare coin secrets that could make you wealthy. Share this with someone who's always tossing change aside. You might just help them retire early. And before you go, ask yourself one last question: what's the true value of a penny? For some, it's 1 cent. For you, it could be everything.